So Locke told us all about 4 different ways that we can get our ideas. The simple ones are the ones that it's really hard to get because those ones are the building blocks. Once you have the building blocks, you can build any old complex idea you want. And so the simple ideas are the ones that really matter to him. And now that we know how we get them and what they are, now he wants to talk about how they function with relationship to the world. And here's the really interesting part of the reading. So Locke thinks that there are 2 different kinds of ideas we could have. There are the ones that resemble things that are really out there in the world, and then there are the ones that are really only in our heads. So he's going to call the first kind primary qualities. So primary qualities are things that are really out there in the world. The secondary qualities are the ones that are all in our heads. And when he says all in our heads, he doesn't mean sort of made up, he doesn't mean not real. He still wants to say that secondary qualities are real things, real qualities that things have. It's just that they depend on us. Let's talk about primary qualities first. These are the easier ones to figure out. So primary qualities, Locke says, are inseparable from the things that have them. And so solidity, or an extension, and shape are Locke's favorite examples here. You can't remove these things without changing the object itself. Now, he doesn't mean here that you can't change the shape of something just because it has shape, right? That's ridiculous. Obviously, you can take a lump of Play-Doh, you can change it to all the shapes you want. What he wants to say, what the quality, though, isn't having a particular shape, it's just having shape, period. Being the kind of thing that can be shaped. You can't change that without probably just destroying this Play-Doh entirely, right? You can't still be Play-Doh and not be able to be shaped. The same goes for being solid, right? You can't remove the fact that something is solid without fundamentally changing what that is. And so when I have the idea in my mind that my Play-Doh has a shape, it can be shaped, that's because the Play-Doh actually can be shaped. It's really out there in the world. So primary qualities actually resemble the things that produce them. So if I look at my desk and I knock on it, look, it's hard, that thing really is hard. So this is how we figure out how the world really is. I can tell by the primary qualities. This won't be the case for secondary qualities, and so this might be a problem, depending how you think about it. Secondary qualities are different from the primary qualities because they're not really out there in the world. And this is strange, this is hard to wrap your mind around. They're not essential to things themselves. Instead, secondary qualities are things that create a sensation in us. And so colors, sounds, tastes, things like that are all secondary qualities. What this means is that Locke wants to say something like candy corn, 'tis the season, doesn't objectively taste like anything. It's not that it's tasteless like water. I mean, it literally has no taste. It has a quality of tastes like candy corn tastes to humans. That's what the quality is. In the same way, it probably has a quality that tastes like candy corn tastes to dogs. The same goes for its color, right? Candy corn isn't actually yellow and orange and white, he's going to say. It has a quality so that it looks like that to humans. But it's not actually that color. In fact, it's not actually any color. And so if something else with a different perceptual apparatus came around, it might not look like anything at all. It might look blue. It might look like any number of things. Because its qualities depend on who's looking at it. And so secondary qualities depend on humans, depend on people who are actually paying attention to those qualities. Secondary qualities are really weird because they don't really exist out there in the world. That means that independent of us, there are no tastes, no smells, no colors, anything like that. There are the qualities that would produce them, but they aren't actually out there in the world. So they do exist, but they exist to us because of us. Colors are real, but they're only real because someone can see them. This means we have an answer, Locke thinks, to one of the classic questions of philosophy, maybe the classic stoner question, right? If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? Locke's going to say no, it doesn't. Because a sound only exists if there's someone there to hear it. Right? That's not to say nothing happened, right? The tree actually fell down, and right, sound is what happens when air moves in a certain way and it's picked up by our sense of hearing. Right? So it makes a sound when there's someone to hear it, otherwise it just makes the air vibrate, and that's different. So we might wonder now, and these are some things to think about, what does this mean? What sort of effect might this have on us, knowing that there are only a certain very limited set of things that are actually real out there in the world? Well, this would blow Descartes' mind, obviously. He would not be all that happy with this. And so this is something you might think about if you think Descartes has a good project. Is this right? And is Locke's conclusion a problem? Similarly, regardless of what you think of Descartes, you might think this is pretty weird, and you might wonder if Locke is right. All great things to talk about on a discussion board, so I will see you there.